We live in an era of big data and analytics. However, there is still one place where we have yet to see significant gains: education. We are still plagued with classroom environments where available data needs to be harnessed to improve student outcomes or determine areas that need additional focus or resources. Listen to this fireside chat on penetrating the fog, analytics in learning and education, to explore why this is happening and what can be done about it. Please welcome Leslie Lucy, founder of Orange Tree Preschool, and Oswaldo Lorenzo, director of Unikemia, with a round of applause.
Thank you so much, and I am so excited to be here today. I'm Leslie Lucy, founder of Orange Tree Christian Preschool, and I am privileged and honored to have Oswaldo Lorenzo, founder and CEO of Unikemia, PhD, Warwick University in the UK, and 25 years of experience as a full-time professor in European universities, and more recently, entrepreneur in the EdTech sector. Let's go ahead and start our chat.
Yeah, thank you, Leslie. And it's a pleasure for, what is that?
The clicker.
The clicker, yes.
We just need the clicker for the presentation.
Yes, wait a second.
Okay, give us 1 second.
What is the?
He's got it over there.
Some technological issue.
And
yeah.
I'll
That's
just,
a real
that's
life.
okay. I'm just going to go ahead and have a seat. And
Thank you. Okay, guys, sorry for this.
No worries, no worries.
Thing is not working.
We'll be
Okay,
we'll
it's
be
coming.
we'll be penetrating the fog on analytics and technology, if we can get the technology to work.
Yeah, sorry, guys. This is okay now.
There we go. There we
yeah,
go.
Thank you. Okay, Leslie. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm really excited about being able to discuss analytics in learning and education, mostly because as we have been here for day 2 of the 3-day conference, what I'm hearing from all of our educators who are here today to collaborate and come up with solutions, what I'm hearing is that we are looking for the answer of how to make that change in education that we all long for. And it's just been such an awesome 2 days so far, and I'm excited to share what we have the information that we have to bring to today's topic, and you won't want to miss the data that supports what we're all doing. So this is exciting.
Okay. Thank you, Leslie. And it's a great pleasure for me as well to stay here and just to briefly introduce you.
Oh,
as well.
thank you.
Yeah, because Leslie Lucy, founder and president of Orange Tree Christian Preschools, and for Leslie, caring for children is a way of life, not a profession. And I've been talking with her for the last 2 days, and I can say that's right. It's a high passion about teaching children and caring children. She opened her first school in 2005 and created a reproducible teaching system. She is a certified mental wellness coach, and she is recognized for being instrumental in changing the way we do preschool. And you have, for both of us, our contact details, and also in LinkedIn, remember, the professional platform we think is perfect place to be in contact. Okay, and this is our plan for today. Yeah?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about the importance of lifelong learning. We're going to integrate personalization, and we're going to talk about how technology plays a part in all of this.
Okay, and to start, I'd like to introduce my perspective about lifelong learning, Leslie. Because remember, I'm coming from Spain, and I take the definition, one of the definitions from European Union is building lifelong learning is adapting to changing skills demands. And this is very interesting because there are many definitions, but this for me is one of the best for our work, because, and at the moment we are living today, because as you can see in this slide, and you know, is the technology is growing exponentially, and as a consequence, we are, as a human being, because as a human being, we are changing in a linear way. As you can see in this slide, organization and people changing in a linear way is so difficult for us to chase the technology change.
Absolutely.
That's a big challenge. And then in this environment, for organizations, by the way, Unikemia works in the organizational environment, is the how to prepare people to adapting quickly to this new environment, to the new skills demanded by organizations. And that's a big, big challenge for companies in Europe, but also in the United States, I'm sure, and worldwide. And then my question here for you, Leslie, would be, how do you see this challenge at the organizational level is affecting or affect the preschool or school model?
Absolutely. Creating lifelong learning is a challenge that needs to be met at all stages of development. So you work with adults who are going into the workforce, and they may or may not already be a lifelong learner. So implementing that concept and then being able to support that process might be something new at that stage. But what if at the preschool level we can teach them by skills training to become a lifelong learner? That's what our goal is. And to be able to attain that success, there has to be a system created that allows children to practice those skills and develop those neural pathways in their brain to become a lifelong learner. It just takes practice. Let's talk more about that.
Yes, definitely. I see the connection, and it's very relevant for the final result, which is preparing people for professional life. Yeah?
Exactly.
But let me show you some statistics. This is from Spain, but there's a lot of statistics also in the United States, in Europe, in general, worldwide. But here from recently, November 2022, the lack of qualified workers will be the main problem for companies in 2023. And as a consequence, retaining the most qualified workers is therefore the second biggest challenge for companies. This is happening in all sectors. I think even in the education sector. What is your perspective?
We've been talking about that the last 2 days, about how it's just such a challenge to find those really good teachers. But like you're saying, it's not just in the education, it's a worldwide problem right now. And so in the preschool world, what personally I have done is I've taken college graduates, realized that they are brilliant and they're capable, but they're not trained. They do not know how to implement classroom management. They do not know how to run their class. They don't know how to meet the children where they are. They don't know how to train the children to become lifetime learners, or to choose positivity, or to have that foundation in their brain structure. And so we have to teach them how to become great teachers. So that's how we meet that challenge. But I'm really excited to hear what you're going to be saying about technology.
Yes, thank you, Leslie. And well, here you can see a study by McKinsey, the well-known consulting firm, and here this is very interesting, because from the professional side, you know, at the company level, organization level, we see a transformation between the content-based training to a skills-based training. Okay,
Absolutely.
and that's the demand from organization at the moment, is how to prepare people for this new need, this need, okay? Is content is there,
Yep.
content is available for everyone.
Yep.
Is, let me use this word, content is a commodity nowadays, okay?
Absolutely.
But developing the specific skills to perform my job is the critical point here. And well, there are different frameworks for when talking about a skills-based approach, and this is just one of them. By the way, recently released by McKinsey after doing a study with Rework America Alliance, and the data from the United States. And you can see here 4 categories of different skills required at the organizational level at the moment. The cognitive skills, interpersonal skills, self-leadership skills, and digital skills, okay? And there are, well, I think this is very interesting. I recommend you to have a look at this report, which is free, and go deeply into the different skills. For example, at the cognitive levels, the need for critical thinking, communication, mental flexibility, adaptation, coming back to our previous conversation, which is the need for adapting continuously to the new challenges. Interpersonal, mobilizing system people, self-leadership, which is relevant. Even many people talking here for the last 2 days about risk-taking, entrepreneurial mindset. Well, this is required at the organizational level, as you can see here, and of course, digital literacy and digital skill also part of this 2 days discussion. Yeah? And but the next, then let's move on. Yeah, and in our agenda now, we like to talk about personalization. Okay, this is once we know the need, how to prepare people from school, and also when they are professional, working at their jobs. And here, well, what exactly means personalized learning? What do you think? What is your perspective, Leslie?
I love that you are touching on this topic, because as educators, everyone here knows that in order to really be an effective teacher, you have to meet that child where he or she is. And that means personal, what kind of learner they are. They're going to have different learning styles. They're going to have a different thing that motivates them. They're going to have things that they care about that is different than every other student. And through technology, we can identify what that child or that teacher or even that parent's personal interest is, what their learning style is, and we can plan our presentation or our lesson plan or whatever it is that our skills training based on what matters to that person. And that's why I'm so excited about this, because we've been thinking in a different way. We've been thinking just without, we've been thinking technology is something that you have to adapt to the school or the organization, but it's not that way. It's us that needs to adapt to the way technology works, and that's what I'm so excited about. And making it personal is the key, and I can't wait to hear about how we have the access. We have the access to that personalization, and you have the statistics. And so let's see what you're going to share with us.
Thank you, Leslie. And well, before that, let me
you have one more thing?
Yeah, because I want to complement your perspective of personalized learning with this slide, because one big challenge in organizations at the moment is the how to engage workers in training process and how to ensure that people are acquiring the knowledge and put that knowledge into practice. Yeah? But the traditional model, which is based on minimizing cost, training is frequently done in one-size-fits-all mode. Yeah? And
Absolutely.
but then we need personalized learning at all levels of education. But at the organizational level is at the moment very relevant. Yeah? And in addition, what you mentioned, we need to personalize the content, of course. We need to personalize the delivery method, learning styles. But also we need to personalize the contextual needs. Because if you are teaching, for example, um, team working at the organizational level, it's possible you have different people, let's say 20, 30, 40 professionals in your team working workshop. But it's possible that one person is in a specific moment of their career and managing a project in which for team working, she or he, let's say, she need more information about how to manage conflict within a team process. Yeah? But other person, let's say he, need or is interested at that moment for more information about how to deal or to manage motivation or engagement within my team. Yeah? Then even these two people are taking the same seminar or course, they have different needs, contextual needs related to their own environment or context. Yeah? Then that's very interesting challenge for organization and for us as educators. Yeah? How to deal with this. And that's, here we can move to the technology, which is the technology able to deal with this challenge, okay? And let me here, I need briefly to introduce some concepts to ensure everybody follow me, okay? To be honest, let me confess, and also learning about this, because I'm coming from the education sector, okay? As Leslie said, I was teaching at the university level, and I'm still teaching, but as a guest professor, but I was full-time professor for 25 years in European universities, and the last 2 years I left my position to start with other colleagues this company, Unikemia, and then I've been learning about this, okay? Then I'm trying to explain this concept for you as educator, okay?
Right.
And not as a programmer.
Okay. Right. And,
okay.
it does take a little bit to trek the information. So I would just like to ask everyone to really pay attention, because this is the information that you guys are asking for in this conference. This is the information that shows us the way that we can achieve the change that we're all looking for. So go ahead.
Thank you, Leslie. Then, here in this blog, you can see you have the link, an article I wrote based on this information from my colleagues about semantic and contextual intelligence. And this is the AI, the artificial intelligence, that DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Project Agency here in the United States, consider the third wave of AI, the artificial intelligence that allows to achieve understanding of the context through the representation of relationships, complexity, and the meaning of data, semantics, okay? And one of the main trends in this concept is knowledge graph. And Gartner, you know, the technological analyst, positioned artificial intelligence in the recent trends analysis, technological trends analysis, in the peak of inflated expectation. In this figure at the left of the slide, you can see at the top of the curve, the knowledge graph position, okay? Then high expectation about this technology is not new, okay?
Right.
But what Gartner said is now we are in a moment in which different sectors are willing and also able to use it for resolving their challenges, okay? And education sector should be part of that.
Absolutely.
That's our bet, yeah? But let me explain you briefly the semantic web and knowledge graph concept is here you can see an article and this picture of Tim Berners-Lee, the founder of, the creator of World Wide Web, as you know, who is one of the main promoters of all of these technologies, and the evolution from ontologies, linked data, and knowledge graph, okay? But what is interesting at the right side, you can see here, is that this is not new. The technological companies and at the military sector, they have been using for the last years, okay? BBC, Google Knowledge Graph, Facebook, Microsoft, and DARPA. We are using the technology created by NOS, which is our partner, technological partner, and we are part of the same group, okay? And which is interesting here, coming back to the inauguration session in which Robert was telling us that technological companies are more advanced than institutions in the educational sector, but far away from us, yeah? Then the point here is we have technology that we can use it for our sector as well, okay? And let me describe briefly the concept here. Is a knowledge graph is a way of integrating and representing heterogeneous and distributed information which allows discovering and investigating any topic in a deeper and more intuitive way and enjoy a more semantically web, okay? A knowledge graph understands any fact about people, places, and all kinds of things, and how all these entities are connected to each other. In the figure on the right side, you can see a basic example, which is easy to follow, is imagine we are representing, using a knowledge graph, information and data coming from different sources, open sources, which is, this is the magic of this, because we are not creating the content. The content is there, out there, available for everyone, but we can put together, uniting all of this data in a knowledge graph, and for example, here, again, basic example, living things, animals, plants, but we can, the graph can connect, using artificial intelligence, the relationship between the different parts, and the graph, once is trained, and is, because the AI need to learn as well, okay, that's part of the process we need to do, is to say, okay, well, cows eat plants. Then this is basic relationship, but when we are teaching in the school, for example, okay, or preschool, we can have this type of tools for our children. Or at the organizational level, we can say, okay, team working is related to motivating people, and also managing conflicts and connecting information from different open sources to put them together into the learning process, okay? This is quickly how this works. Again, this is not new because Google launched in 2012 the Google Knowledge Graph, and many other companies, technological companies using, okay? This is briefly something interesting, because when you do any kind of search in Google, or yes, in Google browser, let's say you write down dog, you want to look for dog in Google, okay? As you know, Google created a box at the right side of the search, which is based on knowledge graph. It's bringing information from different open data, okay, and putting all of them in just one box, okay? That's one way Google is using knowledge graph with the open data, okay? And that's the other important concept, because linked data is one of the core concepts and pillars of the semantic web, and also known as the web of data. You can go in Google or any browser of your preference to see this cloud of the web of data. Many institutions, many companies participated in this open linked data technology, okay? Which is the beauty of this, because everything is there, available for us.
For the whole wide world.
Yeah.
To use. It's already set up. We do not need to reinvent the wheel in order to change education. We can get locked into the technology that has been in existence since 2012, and we can create a system that helps us to be able to meet people where they are and guide them naturally using a system that's already available to us. I think that is wonderful.
Thank you, Leslie. And this is the next question is okay, how to use it in the educational sector, okay?
Yes.
As mentioned before, Unikemia is, we are located in Spain, but working also for organizations, or our customers are in Europe and South America, mainly because of the Spanish language relationship here. But also we are in the same group with Didactalia, which is a platform already created for school and preschool education. And NOS is the technology we are using based on a contextual AI, as mentioned before, okay? And what we are doing in Unikemia, we are creating the learning experience platform for organization based on these concepts, okay? We are now using some public funds, European funds, national funds to do it, and in parallel, we are offering other things, but we are now in this process of research and development at the organizational level. But Didactalia already developed this for the school, okay? Then I'm going to focus the explanation now, the example on Didactalia, okay? Which is one of the companies in the ecosystem we are working on, okay? Yeah. And you can see here, well, briefly, in this platform, which is free, you can go to any browser to look for this, look at this, and he has more than 100,000 educational resources linked in a knowledge graph, okay, and curricularly organized in lessons and courses, data which is open, and the system is bringing all of them together, okay? Didactalia community is formed for more than 500,000 users, mainly in Spanish language at the moment, okay? And it served 4.6 million sessions and 17 million page views. More than 6 minutes of permanence per user, okay, in Didactalia. This is some data related to this. And here you can see some of the functionalities using conceptual map, as we were discussing previously, interactive graph. I'm going to show a specific example in a moment. Augmented reality, you can see some tests at the right side. And here, imagine you are reading in the platform. This is information about history. And imagine you are, for example, if we are in my level, my context, which is organization, right. Okay, imagine we are explaining team working. And again, the lady that was in the course interested in conflict read that team working practices for managing conflict, and she can click on that, okay, and having augmented reading, which is, in other words, that the system is bringing information from other sources, right. Okay, and we need to organize the sources, of course, from university, from YouTube, for the sources. We need to teach the technology, how to use it, okay, and automatically emerging this additional information, okay, for that lady, okay?
Exactly.
That's,
so I'd just like to kind of bring everything that you're saying down to a nutshell.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I'm the big picture thinker. What you're saying, in essence, is that instead of working independently to try to create something that is our own to educate the next generation, let's open up that opportunity that we all have and not reinvent the wheel. Use the system that has been in place, that other companies, other organizations, other systems, just not the education system, are using, and use it as a tool to meet people where they are, to personalize it, to make it so that every single person is getting a personalized program that's going to help them to learn and to grow, to become independent thinkers, to become competent in the areas that they are trying to grow. And we can use this technology as an educational field. We just have to shift our thinking from myself and my own idea to let's collaborate and use something that is already there worldwide.
Yeah, that's interesting, because one of the main premise here, or assumption behind the use of this technology, is that knowledge is there, available for everyone. Yeah? In fact, many people talk about, I don't need to take a course because I go to internet and I can find everything, literally everything. Yeah. But the question for us as educators is, okay, but in what extent that behavior need an additional support from us as educators to help this person to filtering out the knowledge which is available, or in an organized and structured way, okay?
And I can give an example of what you're saying. So I have these debates with my daughter all the time. She says, Mom, the internet says XYZ. What's your opinion? And I have my opinions. But if you go in, and she agrees with me, and you search something, you can come up with lots of different answers.
Yeah.
Whatever you're looking for, you can find it.
Yeah.
So it is very important that in addition to having the worldwide web of information, that we also have a system for guiding the education. So it has to be both. It can't be one without the other. Right now we have lots of systems that we can operate independent of that technology that you are pointing us towards. But what we need to do is we need to integrate the system of technology with the system for guiding our next generation of learners from preschool to adulthood.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, just to mention that this technology, I know personally some example of the use of the technology in other sectors, okay? Like in cultural sector, in a museum, the Prado Museum in Madrid, for example, the web page is based on this technology. I invite you to have a look at this example, because if you are interested in a specific painting, you can see how the web helps you to go deeper into the painting using knowledge graph, okay? Then this is used now in many sectors, or in banking sector, for reputation and using knowledge graph to organize and structure all the information related to what customers are telling about you in social network. Using knowledge graph to organize all this data for the specific sector or customer here. Then this is not new again.
Right.
It's just how we can use it for us, okay? And then let me show you, this is a real example from the team, Didactalia team allowed me to share with you, okay? Which is the studying Napoleon, in history seminar in school, for example, yeah? And the knowledge graph is able, this is real data, okay? And you can see all aspect, facts, information related to Napoleon in this knowledge graph, okay? Who was behind his inspiration, what people, okay? What specific location were relevant in his history. All of them connected with this knowledge graph using, again, open data, which is previously organized according to our recommendation as well. Here there are different issues we need to talk about, but you can see here in this visual aid how this works, okay? An interactive graph formed by a set of educational contents and entities related to each other and called by the main entity, an educational story that is built automatically, okay? This is interesting outcome here. And then, but which is even more relevant, because we have been talking here about the how this happened, what is the technology used, how the technology can provide a solution. But in addition, we want to have data to analyze what is happening in this environment. Yeah? And Didactalia uses intelligent search engine created using cognitive technology to analyze each learning experience, and it learns from itself and can therefore offer users personalized learning, real-time information, predictive evaluation, and other important information for decision making. And this can be integrated with other platforms using APIs, okay? This is technical issues. Yeah? But what is also interesting is that as part of a project financed by European Union, AFEL project, Analytics for Education, and this was a pilot project in the Didactalia, and some data they captured from using this model. First, learning scope. What are the topics on which learner is focusing on, okay? In this learning process, okay? With the possibility of filtering to see each one in detail. What is the learning investigating, going deeper into what path is following? Are they more interested in the battles of Napoleon battles or the Napoleon family? Okay?
Right.
Yeah? What do you think? Is this?
Yeah, I think this is a great topic to clarify, because now we're getting into what is it that we're trying to teach. And that's important, because when we're talking about the big picture of the internet having just so much information and being able to access everything, how does one know which path to go on? And that's where we can take the technology and we can put it into a system for guiding people and allowing them to use the big picture of the World Wide Web and use it for organically meeting them where they are in their process of learning and growing. But we can also guide that process to meet the educational goals.
Exactly, and also increase the engagement.
There's also
of
an
learning.
engagement,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And second, as you can see here, we can also track amounts and percentages covered by the topics of interest, okay? Check if the learner is oriented toward high or low intensity learning. Intensity measured from different ways, the amount of activity that is related to the different topics or the efforts or the time, okay? And activity by months, day, time, cloud of themes and sub-themes for each of them. In fact, this can help us to create or to understand what the specific topics are more interested for the learner. Yeah? Okay. Well, just to finish, I'd like to share with everyone, we want to share this video, this short video, is 2 minutes, okay, in which the Didactalia team is explaining the technology and also the potential uses, okay? Because here you will see we are talking about online and platform, but big challenge as well is how to connect this to the face-to-face environment. And this is complementary to the face-to-face environment. It's not a substitution.
Right, right.
Okay.
It takes the student, it takes the teacher, and it takes the organization to work together to be able to get somebody from where they are to where they want to be. So
Let's show it.
Let's see it.
Yeah, okay. Let's see.
Can you imagine a book that learns from your needs and your way of studying? One that rewrites itself especially for you, delving into the matters you're most interested in and focusing on those that require your dedicated efforts. That's what Didactalia is all about, an online educational platform with plenty of resources that helps you learn more efficiently thanks to its artificial intelligence engine. Katie is one of the thousands of students who use Didactalia every day. The platform learns from her interaction with the content, games, and other users, detecting what interests her and what her strengths and weaknesses are. Didactalia suits itself to her goals and needs. It suggests learning paths to improve on the matters that require dedicated efforts and to reinforce what she is most interested in. Katie is an ace in natural science and enjoys participating in contests with students from other classes or centres and even from other countries. She can work wherever she is, thanks to Didactalia. Attending classes in the morning and studying at home in the afternoon are joined in the same educational digital fingerprint. There is also content designed for working on paper, which can be printed at will and complements the digital content. Her teachers oversee her progress. If she has learning problems, Didactalia can channel the required support, see her improvement and inform her parents, who can then help with extra tutoring. Teachers can view the statistics of her progress and of all her classmates to know which extra tutoring is needed in the classroom. Thus, online learning helps to improve the traditional method. Teachers create and include new content on the platform so that others can use it and students can share their work. Didactalia is a social learning environment that is built by all. Didactalia, the technology that is revolutionizing education.
That was awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. I'd like to support what the technology and the analytics and the clarity that we've been talking about, and just point everyone who is grasping this concept of being able to use the internet as a platform for being able to see technology in a new way. I think in the past we might have been looking at as technology as a substitute for a teacher, and this is a mind shift. This is a support. This is a support to the teacher, and the way that we use it in preschool is in the olden days we used to have to do difficult evaluations where we'd sit and we'd test the student and analyze where they're at in their stage of development in order to be able to help them to continue to learn and grow, and it was just a very burdensome process. And now, using that kind of technology, what we can do is we can have the children do simple assessments through technology that, like you were explaining, reveal where they're at, what their capabilities are, where their strengths and weaknesses are, what their learning style is, and the teacher can lesson plan according to what her students need, what they're interested in, and she knows what she wants to teach, but how to get the kids to where they need to go as individuals to meet their own individual potential is what bridging the technology and the teaching together offers. And so I'm just really excited to be here today to share this information, and thank you so much for sharing all of this really, really life-changing, world-changing data and analytics.
Thank you, Leslie. And just to, if you allow me,
Of course.
Yeah, these 2 days has been fantastic for me. It's because I seen different presentation, educators and trainers, all of you, my colleagues. And what I want to tell you is as we have been discussing here, is we need to experimenting. Yeah? We need to allow us to fail in this process. Okay.
Absolutely.
What we have showing here is it's a long process. It's not overnight, not happening overnight. You know. In fact, we are now. We started a project to. In fact, it's working. It's a working project or working process project to use this or to move or to using this example of the Didactalia for professional training. Okay, that's the project of Unikemia. Then, as you can see, the application of new technology is going through different pilot projects, different pilot environments. Okay, and we are all in our team working and learning continuously. And it's fascinating. Sometimes it's risky, or we feel we are in a risky zone or region, but I think at the end of the journey, we will see
the fruit.
The fruit, yeah.
Absolutely. And it's fun to be able to come together as educators to a conference like this, meet as minds open to pursuing the change that will affect the world and change our education system for the next generation, for the benefit of the next generation. So thank you so much for being on stage with me, sharing the stage, sharing your perspective, and I look forward to continuing for the next day and a half to hear everybody's contribution, and together we can change the world.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm just wondering if you have any advice for people. I've worked in the California community college system for 20 years, and we heard this a lot yesterday, that it all comes down to funding and getting funding. And a lot of funding right now is really targeted towards diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so I have a couple questions for you. Number one, where can we go to get funding? So where can I as an educator go to get funding to bring this into school? And then question number two, and I only have a few minutes, but maybe somebody else can talk about this. I'm just wondering how, equity and algorithms, and perhaps it's too late to answer that, so I'm just gonna leave it there. But if you have any suggestions for where professors can go to get funding, where can we write for grants, that would be great. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I'm not, I'm not an expert in the United States funding process or system, yeah, but in Europe at the moment, and now because of the pandemic, post-pandemic situation, there's a lot of public funds available for innovation and research and development, and even better for the application of that on a specific context, yeah? And well, again, if in the case of Europe and Spain, we have found funds, or we have found and we are applying for additional funds, okay? In fact, at the moment in Europe, there's the belief that there are more funds than projects, okay? That's good news for us, okay? I don't know here, perhaps, Leslie, you know more than me about the funding money for projects here in the United States, yeah? But I think it's similar, it would be similar.
I would say so. I'm not an expert in politics or funding. I like to call myself an ordinary person who has an extraordinary mission in life to change the way we do preschool. But what I have found is that it's the policies that need to change in order for true change to take effect. And so when we start implementing the systems that are working, that's when the money will come in. We will receive those funds when we can offer the solution. And I think we're on the right track.
Yeah, in fact, that's something interesting, which is I invite you to investigate a bit more about this, because it would be a surprise that you will find, because I believe that I think here in the United States similar. You have more money than us in research and development. In fact, for us in Europe, the United States is the benchmark. If you compare the amount of money you invest on research and development in the United States compared to Europe, you are the winner, significantly advantage. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Then I'm sure there are funds, no doubt. Then investigate a bit more, and perhaps here there are some policymakers that can help you to where to look for that. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's the direction that I would point you in.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? We have about one more minute. No? Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.